Well, good morning. And yes, the rest of our lives will start today. Welcome to the first annual Together We Thrive Actions for Change Summit. Thank you, USA Triathlon, for the opportunity to serve as host and moderator for this inaugural summit. I am Mashonda Miles, aka Mashonda Shines, because it's what I strive to do every single day. I am a model, an avid triathlete of 6 years, and an endurance race announcer of 3 years. I currently reside in the great national capital, Washington, D.C. And I'm excited to get this kicked off today with our USA Triathlon CEO, Mr. Rocky Harris.
Welcome everybody to our first ever Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Access Summit. It was really important for us to bring everybody together to learn from each other and share best practices. That's what we've heard from all of you over the last 6 months or so, is that we as a community want to rise up and take action. And that's what today is all about. We have to face the facts that while we are a very open and inclusive sport, really welcoming sport that wants to bring new people into our sport regardless of their background, the facts don't lie. The participatory numbers are really low among minorities. Female, male, we're at 40 to 60%. And there's just so much room for improvement. And this is really the time that we as a group, we as a sport, we as society have to step up and do more. We as USA Triathlon and our board of directors have committed to diversity, equity, inclusion, and access. And in fact, just this year, we're adding it as one of our 4 guiding principles as an organization. We believe it's that important. So our commitment is true and it comes from the top down. And if you really look at how this all started, it really did start at the top with our board of directors. In the last decade, we had an all-male, all-Caucasian board. And if you look at our board today, we have a majority females. We have our first 2 African-American board members. We have a Hispanic board member. We have our president as a female. Our vice president is a para-elite athlete. We've really diversified our board and made it represent what we feel like is the future of our sport. We've been recognized for many of our efforts. So this didn't just start with the tragic death of George Floyd. We've been putting a lot of work in over the last 3 or 4 years to turn our sport into what we believe it should be. In fact, we've been recognized by the United States Olympic and Paralympic Committee for 3 consecutive years with the Diversity and Inclusion Award. Only one of the 50 plus NGBs to be recognized, and we've done it 3 years in a row. So we're really proud of that, but the work is really beginning now. The board approved 2 years ago to increase our reach within the historically black colleges and universities. So much so that we provided a grant, and we've already had 2 schools sign up to become NCAA triathlon programs. We're really proud of that, but to us it's more than just building NCAA athletes. It's building the community around those athletes. So this is a starting place for us. We've also been on the forefront of our transgender policy as well, and it's really a progressive policy. And the reason why is we believe firmly that equality is equality, regardless of how you're born and who you are. And Chris Mosier, one of our best athletes around the country and somebody who's represented us on the world stage, showed me firsthand the importance of this with all the efforts that Chris has done over the years to be an advocate for transgender athletes, not just transgender triathletes, but transgender athletes. So it allowed us to really step up and be a leader in this space as well. We've also invested in paratriathlon, and we really have from the beginning. We're one of only about 15 national governing bodies who manages and operates and invests in our own paratriathlon program. That doesn't just mean that we're impacting the paratriathletes at the Paralympic level. We're also doing grassroots programming, camps, clinics to bring athletes with disabilities of all ages, of all backgrounds into our sport. Our sport has put gender equity at the forefront from the beginning, whether it's equal prize money, equal distances, equal support from us as a federation for our elite athletes. It's been really important, and it's even right now becoming more important at the age group level, and we're seeing significant growth among females in our sport. But as we all know, it's not enough. And I really feel like the reason why our sport started so strong when it comes to female representation is because it came on just at the right time. In the late 1970s, after Title IX went into law, and once our society as a whole not only started accepting females as strong athletes, but also wanted to see them compete in the world stage. So we really, as our sport, we don't have all the history and baggage that many other sports have when it comes to gender equity, but we're not doing enough. And you can see that in our numbers. Even though we have 40% female participation at the age group level, we believe that that also needs to represent America at a 50-50 split. We also believe that grassroots initiatives, and we've invested a lot of time and effort into grassroots initiatives, because we have to get the kids involved in the sport, and diverse kids from across our country. That will continue to be a big priority for us as an organization. We've decided to take a really strong stance on racial equality in America. I know after seeing the terrible and tragic deaths of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and many other innocent people, that we could not just sit by and let that happen without standing up and standing by the community. I feel really proud of our response to the inequities in our country. As part of our fundraising ride across Colorado, our elite paratriathlon team and our Olympic hopefuls decided to stop at City Hall and take a knee as a unified group to show that we are unified in supporting Black lives and Black Lives Matter. We recently created a campaign called Together We Thrive, where we unveil our diversity, equity, inclusion, and access principles. We've really worked with our community to develop these principles, and we're excited to share them with you later today. Our ultimate goal is to do everything we can to make sure that our sport represents the diversity of the United States. Right now, it does not. And that is really our North Star. As a unified group, all of us need to lock arms and make that our long-term focus. If our sport does not represent the demographics of America, our sport will be obsolete in the future. We have to continue to evolve and make sure that we represent our community. Right now, our sport does not represent the diversity of America. So we have to be really intentional with our efforts to change that reality. Most importantly for us is we have to activate our community. We have to learn from each other, share best practices, so we can spread what we all know is most important, which is to make our sport a more diverse and welcoming sport. The best way to make our sport better represent the diversity of America is to not make big decisions in Colorado Springs that impacts the rest of the country. It's to start at the grassroots level and learn from each other, and then share what we learn from all of you across the country. It's really going to take the multi-sport community to step up and take action, and that's what we're here to do today. So the rest of the day we'll be hearing from a lot of people within our sport, outside of our sport, about what they're doing to impact DEIA. Next, we're going to turn it over to Megan Rich. She's our Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Manager, and she's really the one driving our efforts here, really listening to our community and trying to do everything we can to listen, learn, and improve. Thank you.